So, greetings from the Eccentric Man. Another battle report from our practice games for the Warlord GT. This time we're using 750 points, and the die has been cast. We have submitted our army lists. I've gone for the defence of Great Britain, and Colin has gone for his Japanese 1937 to 1939 army. So we have thrown the dice and our lists are in. So let's have a look at what the practice game is today. It's going to be key positions we rolled for, and let's have a look at the scenario. So on the D3 roll, we rolled a 1, plus the 2 gave us 3 objectives. I won the dice roll to put the first one down, and they ended up fairly straightforward. 1 on Colin's side, 1 in the middle, and 1 on my side. I won the roll to see who chose the side, and when you look at the map, I chose the bottom part, or if we should say south to the bottom, north to the top. I had the south side. With this, nothing's on the table apart from forward deploying, and that's about it really. We'll have a look at the table, using some of the houses and some ruins, and a few woods and that. So let's have a look at the tabletop. One important thing to always remember when first starting the game is to go through all the terrain pieces and describe what they are. So we went for all the main houses, even though they had a little bit of ruin on them. They were going to be houses, the ruins were ruins. The tree stands were tree stands, and this is why it's important. I took the smaller grass ones as bushes and cover, where Colin was thinking it was still a tree which was going to cover the view through, no line of sight. So we did have a discussion of that later on. Fortunately for us, it didn't make too much difference, so I just said, yeah, okay then, it's trees and dense terrain, so we can't see through it. But really important, if you're doing tournaments, is to discuss each part and each bit of the terrain to make sure you know what it does. So let's have a look at Colin's list. The army that he's taking is on the back 2 rows, and he's got a veteran officer with his mate and an extra mate, so there's 3 of those. He's got 2 veteran units of 8 men, a cavalry unit which is regular, a flamethrower team, veteran, light anti-tank gun, a Yago tank, I think it's 8 with the light howitzer and 2 machine guns, and a 7+ armoured car with 2 machine guns. And that's his 750 point army. So what we have is we have the officer's wife on the left, the naval artillery observer, a sniper team, the green inexperienced home guard unit behind them, a regular army unit, light machine gun and 8 rifles, navy regular unit, rifles and a light machine gun, and 6 commandos with submachine guns behind them. I've got a medium mortar with spotter, and I've got the A9 tank. So light anti-tank gun and 3 machine guns. So, but the machine guns, one fires left, one fires right, and both can fire up the centre. So that's the A9. That's my 750 list. Right, let's get on with turn 1, and let's see how the British fare this time against the Japanese. So turn 1, end of turn 1, and what we've got is I've got our naval observer who called down his artillery strike. He's very brave. He's brought it down over on this side, and that's really sort of negated Colin deploying anything within 15 inches of that artillery spot. The armoured car did come on and took a shot at the naval observer and missed, and Colin also came on with the squad there, you can see it, veteran squad, and they missed him, so that was quite good. The other unit are just outside of 15, much the same as a light artillery piece, which is over there, and the Yago came on, took a shot at Captain Mannering's unit, and missed, which was lucky. Naval reserves are behind the wood, looking at keeping this objective. This objective is in the middle, up for grabs, and Colin's objective is over there behind the trees, and that's being kept by the officer and possibly a flamethrower team over there. My medium mortar's over here, mortar observer in that little square, and I've got my snipers over here, and they did a really good shot, long range, killed one of the men on the light anti-tank gun and put a pin on them. So yeah, got a 4 to hit them, and then a 6 for the kill. I've put my officer on the objective over here, so it's the officer and his wife, and I'm bringing this unit. Oh, sorry about that. You may get a bit dizzy. So bringing this unit onto this side of the table. So that's the end of turn 1. So we'll have to see what we roll for the naval observer's artillery strike. So end of turn 2, and the armoured car, the Japanese armoured car, is zapping around the edge. You may see there that the marker for the artillery strike is still on the table. I rolled a 3, so I was able to move it a little bit. So moved it towards me, and then legged it with the artillery observer, trying to get a little bit out of range, but 9 inches plus D6 is not going to get him out of the way. No. The armoured car forced me to go down with this unit of infantry, so they went down. Colin's running up the table edge to try and negate any damage that the big gun might come in. The veteran unit on the other side has legged it over to the artillery piece, and the little Yigo came up to try and take out the sniper and the observer for the mortar. I've moved them so that they get a bit better observation this time around. The home guard have hacked around behind the tree to avoid getting shot at by the Yigo, and the naval squad is coming up behind the A9, and I've put that on ambush last turn. I didn't want to test out the accuracy of Colin's light anti-tank gun, because last time in the last game, if you remember, he hit it as I was driving it through and blew it up. So we're trying to hold on to it a little bit more this time around. I had to move it because the mortar didn't have any targets, and as you can see just over there, Colin's flamethrower team has run from behind the tree to get a little bit more position to come round on this flank, and the officer's team is still holding the objective behind. Much the same with mine over on this side. So that's the end of turn 2, but what we'll do is we'll have a dice roll for the beginning of turn 3.
Ooh, yeah.
And we'll see what's going to happen.
4.
4. It comes in.
Hey!
So it comes in, and it's a D6. No, D6
plus 9.
Plus 9. So let's see where it's going to go.
12.
3. So it's going to go 12 inches.
12 inches. It's missed.
Just out?
It's just out. And
yeah, missed on that. Nothing's gonna get in there. Apart from my artillery man.
Yeah, he's got it on his nose.
Got it on the nose. So, let's see what happens to my naval observer.
I can't remember what was it. Is it a 1 he missed or something?
What have we rolled?
It's 6.
A 6. That is a 4-inch template landing on his head at +6 penetration.
Does a 1 always?
So a 1 would allow him to survive.
Get a 1, Ken. Come on, get a 1. He doesn't deserve to die. Oh, he does.
On a 2, he dies. So yeah, very useful. My naval artillery bombardment.
I think it was very good.
You think you like that? Did you?
I did,
it did cause you a bit of trouble, didn't it?
It worried the eebies out of me, and it made me starburst.
Yep.
And it slowed my units up. So it's very good.
Sadly, he killed himself. But there we go. That's the risks that you take being forward deployed from your battleship.
Yeah.
So, enter turn 3, and let's look what we've got. The Igo is pushing forward, took shots at both the sniper and the spotter, but didn't manage to hit them at all. I've put the sniper on ambush. That was to deal with the flamethrower team that was coming around the side, and Colin's moved them around to the side of the house there. You can see them. I was bunching up a little bit over here, so I've sent the home guard round to the left. Who knows what I'm going to do with those. Officer went down because he's just keeping the home fires burning on the objective. The A9 moved up forward to get a bit of cover behind the wall. Colin's ambush with the light gun missed it, which was good, and I took some shots at the Japanese advance in. I'll cut the dice into this, and you'll see the dice row for them. But suffice to say, they've got 1 pin on them. So, having seen the dice, you'll see how they fared. So, let's have a look. What else have we got over here? Armoured car came round after I had moved. And you might be able to see some Japanese cavalry there as well. We'll talk about them in a minute. My unit here ran and took 1 pin from the armoured car. and 2 killed. So they did take a bit of a risk there. And Colin's cavalry came on, moved 18 inches from the centre line, and they whiz along. So that is a bit of a problem. My mortar team over here is ranged in, needed a 5, not ranged in, but it needs a 5 to hit the artillery piece in turn 4. And my navy troops are covering behind the A9. So we're going to see what we can do, how this will work in this next turn. So yeah, just 1 dice lost so far. It could be 2 with the first dice house being Japanese. This could be a problem, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, let's move into turn 4. End of turn 4, and tricky for the home guard. Sadly, Collins duffed the A9 up again. I moved it over, hoping to get a bit of cover, and I did kill 2 of the cavalry and stop them charging the infantry down here, but Colin countered with his Yamago and needed a 5 to hit me, and he did, and then he rolled a 6 for penetration, and on the back of the A9 it's only a 5, so 3 dice and killed it. It's a very sad state of affairs, really, with my little A9. It dies very easily. Moved up the navy, the Jactars, and they put a shot on the unit there, killed 2, and did exceptional damage, and we took out the machine gunner. So the navy squad proving their worth. Sniper team still on ambush, keeping Colin's head down, and I've sent Captain Mainwaring and the home guard round for a do or die mission to get to the objective. However, the flying the ointment is that Colin's got his flamethrower team here, and I've got my snipers on ambush, so he doesn't want to bring his sniper out his flamethrower out too soon, and I'm going to have to probably take a risk of getting flamethrowered with the home guard. But
I could get a 1.
He could get a 1 or a 2 and miss. So we are going to give it a go, and we'll see what happens as we go. Because of the opening up of the space with the A9 going, the artillery pieces come forward to get out of the way of the mortar that was homing in, and I changed the target, and I've got a 5+ to hit the Yago next turn. So I did hope for a cheeky little 6, but it didn't occur this time. The armoured car. With the demise of the A9, the armoured car rules the world. So it's I've got no idea what I'm going to do there, and I've got no idea what I'm really going to do with the Yago. Problems. Anyway, we're going to move into turn 5 now. Into turn 5, and the commandos have come on, run on, but have taken a pin. The unit over here went down for the armoured car. I only took 1 more pin and only lost 1 man, so I was very lucky there. Did I kill 1 in the middle, or did they just put a pin on them?
I think no, you just put a pin.
Just put a pin on the unit with the navy. They did pass the leadership test. Lost 1 pin and put 1 pin on the Japanese. The snipers took a shot at the artillery piece that moved across, because Colin's cunning plan to try and get that within the close to the objective and be able to move the officers around to protect it from my home guard running round. Mortar took a shot at the Yago again and sadly missed, but the flamethrower team didn't miss the home guard. Killed 3, put 3 pins on, and the home guard on a 5. They didn't get bumped up to regular with the green test. They stayed at what's the word?
Green.
Green, but inexperienced. Yeah. Went to inexperienced. And on a 5 failed the leadership test and zapped away dead. So sadly for the home guard, their do or die mission was a die mission. So into turn 6, looking like Colin is going to get the win on this one. So into turn 6, and the navy are beleaguered. The IGO has come up. The armoured car is now coming up. The cavalry took out the infantry unit. They've gone down to keep hold of the objective. These ones advanced up. I think they were the ones who killed the... no, the IGO killed the commandos. Killed all 6 of them with good shooting from the light howitzer and the machine gun, which was just took them all out. Killed 6 veterans, snuffed them out. Yeah, so officer went down, still holding the objective at the end of turn 6, just about. The snipers took a shot at the troops in the centre, and the mortar took a shot at them, but we failed to hit them, which was a bit of a shame. And the flamethrower team are coming round to try and take out the mortar team before the next shot. But anyway, Colin, roll a dice.
Oh yeah.
What have we got?
4.
It would continue on to the 7th turn. So, final throws of turn 7. And they survived the armoured car firing at them.
That was amazing.
It took out, sadly, the lieutenant's wife, but he was surviving on 1 pin. So he took some shots at the cavalry as they came in and managed to kill one of the cavalrymen and put 1 pin on them. However, there's 4 fighting him now. And they're veterans. No, they're regulars, and I'm regular. But the cavalry get to go first. So, 4 dice there, Collie. That's 2 dead, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's only him.
Yeah.
So
he is Kebab.
He is now sadly dead as well, and the final objective falls to Colin. So a win to Colin by 3 objectives to 0. So well done, Colin. Well, a couple of learning points to come out of that one. Yeah, sort of reinforces my thought process with regards to the A9. As soon as it was gone, Colin's armour, his machine gun, 2 machine gun armoured car, and his IGO had free range and could just do what it wants. So I've really got to keep that A9 alive and to just keep it and use it as a threat, because it's a reasonable threat with the 15 machine gun shots. Excuse me. So, what else did we think? Well, the Naval Artillery Observer. Yeah, that's pretty good. Considering it's a 9-inch plus D6 radius. So, it really does give a pretty big area. So, yeah, got to think about it. It's a bit of possible risk for myself, depending where I place it. But it really does put down some suppression and keeps people out of the area that it might affect. It's also got the rule where you get a near miss on a 5, where it wouldn't have been any damage. It would be just pins. But with the naval bombardment, you get a 5, which does give a near miss, which is a 2-inch template for infantry and artillery. And there's a possibility to glance vehicles or to flip them over and to destroy them. So they are pretty good. And buildings, if a building gets hit underneath it, if it's got a unit in it, it is, I think, quite a significant roll. It could be D4 or certainly D3 plus 2 dice to see whether it damages the buildings. It's a 4-inch template if it hits infantry, so it's a pretty big hitter if it comes in. But there again, it's got to come in, hasn't it? So yeah, yeah, a fun little game at 750 points. We very rarely play 750 points, but yeah, quite a nice one. Quite a nice little game. Got to think about what we do and how to play these games. As I say, we've not been playing very many games at all of late for different reasons. But there we go. Not sure if we'll get another practice game in. We'll have to see. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And the next video, I think I'll put up will be the whole army, and I'll talk through it and we'll go and look at the units, because I've got it all painted up now, which is all good and ready to go for the GT. So, as I say, thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and please share if you think your friends might like it, but hit the subscribe button, the notification one if for new videos is quite useful, and comment below. So thanks very much for watching, and see you soon, and take care.